Hi, welcome to She Spice. At the point when Bhad Bhabie uncovered the terrible circumstances at About Face Farm, the world was stunned, yet reality about Dr. Phil's inclusion and his ties with Oprah Winfrey is considerably more obscure. Are we prepared to uncover the genuine story in the universe of daytime TV? Dr. Phil B. McGraw is a commonly recognized name equivalent with real love and groundbreaking guidance. Anyway, behind the clean veneer lies a background marked by double dealing and an upsetting association with the famous disturbed adolescent industry. Dr. Phil McGraw's daytime talk show has been a staple of American TV since its presentation in 2002, with a huge number of viewers tuning in for his non-babble exhortation and sensational mediations. Dr. Phil has assembled a domain on the commitment of help and mending, yet late reactions have projected a dull shadow over his heritage, which, as a matter of fact, happened when Bhad Bhabie was shipped off About Face Farm male supporting embarrassing shouting at rest, denying that is real love. The amazing way profound are doctors. Phil's associations with the grieved high schooler industry, and which job does he play in the asserted and abuse, I anticipated to be treated with comprehension of all things considered. I encountered a counter from the farm after I made some noise, and what appeared to me to be discipline for announcing my why. Has Dr. Phil stayed quiet on these serious claims? And what does this mean for his believability individuals that were condemning of it? No one at any point inquired them how they at any point treated her, and what might be said about his well-established fellowship with Oprah Winfrey. Could she be embroiled in these outrages too? I welcomed Phil to come on the Oprah show to share a tad bit of his sort of no-ornaments approach to speaking candidly from the hip guidance, since he and I would drive into the preliminary each day together. Dr. Phil McGraw has for quite some time been an installation on daytime TV, celebrated for his strong but fair affection approach and emotional intercessions. However, in the background, his show's most electrifying minutes may conceal a more evil reality. One case that has carried this issue into the spotlight is that of Bhad Bhabie, the youthful rapper, whose story took a dim turn after her appearance on Dr. Phil's show. How did Bhad Bhabie, known for her viral Cash Me Outside expression, ends up on the Dr. Phil stage about getting you outside? What does that intend? What I simply say, Sway Bhabie conceived Danielle Briley at first and showed up on Dr. Phil's show in September 2016. Her episode was named I Need to Surrender My Vehicle, taking Blade employing an adolescent girl. The section included Bhabie as a grieved youngster whose conduct had heightened to a rough and whimsical explosion. Dr. Phil's show depicted her as an outrageous instance of defiant high school conduct, setting the stage for what might turn into a profoundly dubious mediation. My little girl is out of control. 13 years of age, very provocative Danielle disappeared with the keys to my team's individual vehicle. The show also, the display of Bhad Bhabie's appearance was intended to charm viewers. However, the results of this public mediation were undeniably really disturbing after her emotional exit from the show. B. Bhabie was shipped off Reversal Farm, a choice that would prompt serious repercussions for her male feeding, embarrassing shouting at rest, denying that is not genuine affection. For what reason was Bhad Bhabie shipped off About Face Farm, and what went wrong after her appearance on Dr. Phil's show? Bhabie's transition to Reversal Farm was introduced as an essential step for her restoration anyway. This office, which has been under magnifying glass for quite a long time, was a long way from the arrangement she wanted. Claims of stomach muscle and brutal treatment at Reversal Farm immediately arose, painting a bleak picture of the face rehearsals. I expected to be treated with understanding, but rather I encountered reprisal from the farm after I talked up, and what appeared to me to be a discipline for detailing my in spite of these negative encounters. Rigoli figured out how to transform her viral notoriety into an effective profession, frequently considering her experience with Dr. Phil as a disputable defining moment to hold that profile on me all through the remainder of my teen years, and my grown-up years currently is simply like in any event. With regards to how I look, I was 13 bullies disclosures filled public banter about doctors. Phil's morals, prompting an expanded examination of his show pundits, who contend that his strategies focus on emotionalism over veritable assistance. Now, in case you don't have any idea who we are talking about, Dr. Phil was brought into the world as Philip Calvin McGraw in Veneta, Oklahoma, on September 1, 1950, to guardians Joseph J. McGraw and an anonymous mother. Dr. Phil was brought into the world in Oklahoma. He grew up in the oil fields of North Texas, where his father was a gear provider. As Dr. Phil aged, he moved with his dad to Kansas to seek after his fantasies of turning into a therapist in 1975. Dr. Phil moved on from Midwestern State College with a BA in brain science. He proceeded to procure his MS in exploratory brain research in 1976 and afterward acquired a PhD in clinical brain science in 1979 at North Texas State College, presently known as the College of North Texas. After Dr. Phil got his doctorate, he moved with his father to Wichita Falls, Texas, where his father had laid out a private brain science practice. Dr. Phil and his father cooperated with Thelma Box, a money manager, to introduce self-improvement classes 6 years subsequent to joining Thelma. What's more, his dad, Dr. Phil, chose to sell his portion of the organization, getting about $325,000. This was presumably because a year earlier in 1990, when Dr. Phil helped to establish Court Sciences Inc., known as CSI with attorney Gary Doss. CSI was, and as of now is, a preliminary counseling firm that gives administrations in U.S. suit brain research jury choice, preliminary counseling observer, preparing and testimonies through this specific business. Dr. Phil met Oprah Winfrey, denoting his ascent to distinction in 1995. Oprah connected with Dr. Phil's counseling group, CSI, to assist her with getting ready for a case she was dealing with. She won that case and lauded Dr. Phil for his help. Dazzled by him, she welcomed him to be a visitor on her show. I welcomed Phil to come on the Oprah show to share a tad bit of his sort of straightforward method of speaking candidly from the hip guidance, since he and I would drive into the preliminary each day together around 1998. After the fruitful preliminary finished, Dr. Phil made his most memorable visitor appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show, quite possibly one of the greatest evaluated and most seen network programs in history. His most memorable appearance was so effective that Oprah continued to welcome him back, ultimately giving him his own portion on the show. He would come on as a relationship and life methodology master on Tuesdays beginning in April 1998. I've said multiple times you got to name it before you can guarantee it. By 2002, Oprah assisted him with sending off his own show, which by 2008 was beating Oprah's OWN show. While some credit Oprah for Dr. Phil's prosperity, others contend he owes it to the numerous weak people he's taken advantage of for appraisals throughout the long-term entertainer. Maya Farrow even tweeted that regulations ought to safeguard deranged individuals from television syndicated programs like Dr. Phil, who took advantage of Duvall's delicate mental state for his acquisition for setting in November 2016. Shella Duvall, a Dearest entertainer known for her jobs in works of art like The Sparkling and Poppy, showed up on Dr. Phil's television show. This episode rapidly became notorious for what many saw as Dr. Phil taking advantage of Duvall's delicate mental state for TV appraisals. When Shella Duvall showed up on Dr. Phil, she was noticeably unwell and battling with extreme emotional wellness. Duvall's appearance was troubling to many fans who recollected her from her days as a fruitful entertainer. I needed to cry, hyperventilate, and convey a young man. She showed indications of serious distrustfulness. Furthermore, fancy asserting that her previous co-star Robin Williams was alive and a shapeshifter, and that she was being sought after by the Sheriff of Nottingham. I love Robin Williams. I don't believe he's dead. Where do you think he is moving? Dr. Phil's methodology during the meeting was Drew's quick analysis, rather than offering caring help. He appeared to zero in on evoking the most shocking and upsetting explanations from Duvall, in the event that you to such an extent as endeavor to get my moon. The episode's limited time materials accentuated her generally odd and upsetting remarks, driving numerous to blame Dr. Phil for utilizing her condition for shock worth and appraisals, as opposed to truly helping her. The episode started far-reaching judgment from the two Veeps and the overall population. Many saw the meeting as an explicit double-dealing of a weak person. Among the most vocal pundits was Vivian Kubrey, the girl of Stanley Kubrick, who coordinated Duvall in The Sparkling in an open letter. Kubrick communicated her repulsiveness at the episode, expressing you are placing Shell's well-being in danger, and you are adding to her affliction and possible mischief by being engaged with her as she is currently entertainer. Mia Fo, moreover, took to online entertainment to censure Dr. Phil, tweeting that there are TV regulations to safeguard insane individuals from television talk shows like Dr. Phil, who is taking advantage of Shelley Duvall for his own benefit. Her feeling was reverberated by incalculable others who felt that the show had crossed a moral line. The kickback expanded past Hollywood psychological wellness experts and promoters communicated their shock, accentuating that the episode propagated shame around mental illness and taken advantage of Duvall's condition for diversion. The Public Collusion on Psychological Maladjustment made an announcement censoring the episode as a missed chance to give significant awareness and enlightening inclusion of psychological wellness issues in response to the objection. Dr. Phil shielded the episode by asserting that his goal was to subscribe She Spice for more videos.